Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horror Vision Presents on Shudder. This is our attempt to give Drive-In Mutants and everybody else who subscribes to Shudder for the intermittent programs like Last Drive-In or even Boulay Brothers. You sub, you watch your show, you cancel. And now with Joe Bob's season being extended for most of the year, people are like, what else is on Shudder to watch? So there is a lot of content. It used to be a little bit more like curated. Now there's just a lot. They produce a lot. And so this is our attempt to really steer people towards what we think is worth watching that's on the service, and especially the stuff that you can't get elsewhere. And with this particular movie we're going to do today, we recorded this a while ago, right after it first landed, and we had some mixed reactions. So I wasn't sure I was actually going to release this until today. And the reason is with On Shudder, we kind of have an unwritten rule that it's not a review show. So if not everybody digs it, we're not going to even present it as something to watch on Shudder. However, subsequent conversations with all of the people involved, I feel like everybody who you will hear speak about this movie on this episode would actually recommend watching the movie for one reason or another. And this is a first film, and I think it's really good. I had some issues, Tori had some issues, but ultimately this is one that we decided to indeed recommend. So and in keeping with that, today, Tori, you want to tell us what we're going to be watching?
To watch Baghead on Shudder, that new one. I dug it and it had me. I was for it, and then it lost me. And I just kind of
This just hit Shudder. Young girl, her father dies and she inherits his Irish pub. Weird solicitor makes her sign a deed, and then it turns out there's this woman that's kept in the basement with a bag over her head. And if you bring an item that belonged to a deceased person, she will eat it. And then you have 2 minutes. They strap her to a chair. Sound familiar? And you have 2 minutes. You take the bag off, and it's whoever that loved one is, and you can talk to them. And then after 2 minutes, then they start to fuck with you because it's no longer them, it's her, right? And she, there's
okay.
some backstory. I'm curious what lost you. I will say it's so for a first film, I thought it was pretty good, right? And while it obviously was greenlit as like talk to me is huge. What else do we have that looks like that? Here's a script, make it. Because it's very similar. But for a first film, it's pretty good. And there's one thing in it that I really thought was great, and that's they do the thing. I don't talk to me. I don't think really does this because it does other angles, but they take the angle. Yeah, you know how fucked up it would be that just because you need closure, this person you love is dead and you pull them back to the living, and how fucking fucked up and sad and awful would that be?
hmm
Like, what the fuck happened? Oh, you died, but I wanted to tell you this. It's like
Cool.
I thought that was a fucking great moment. It's about 40 minutes into the film. I thought that was great.
I loved the backstory. I loved how we got like a little bit of the things backstory, and then they didn't tell us too much.
Yeah,
I dig
yeah.
that. I got really frustrated with the main character because I know it's like the horror trope, like you don't go in the woods, and the fucking asshole goes, but everybody's like, no, don't fucking do this, don't do this. Hey, I'm your dead dad. Don't do this because it pretty much killed me. And what the fuck does the bitch do immediately? Like I was yelling at the goddamn TV, like you stupid idiot. What are you doing? What are you doing? So I think my frustration with the character just kind of was like, I don't care. Just fucking do whatever. Just go.
Did you recognize the dad?
No.
Peter Mullen, or I don't, it's Mullan. So a lot of people listening, if you've seen Ozark, you'll know him from the first season, first two seasons of Ozark. But he's also in District 9, not District 9, Session 9, sorry. Totally
Oh,
different fucking movies. Such different movies.
he had
Um,
sex with a creature. A fucking prawn.
I guess he was in Westworld. I didn't watch that. He's just one of those guys. He's been in so many fucking things. In Ozark, he was Jacob Schnell that was married to the fucking psycho old woman. Um, he's a really good actor, though. Everything I see him in, I like him, and I thought he was good in this too.
Like, no, I didn't watch Ozark. Maddie's been on my ass about it too.
He's in all the Red Riding trilogy. Just really solid character actor. I really like him, and I thought he did a good job. I thought he brought a bit of class. I didn't love the main character or her friend either. I mean, they were fine. Even the Neil guy, I didn't love him either. But overall, first film. I like the lighting. I like the score. I liked a lot of the camera work.
Yeah, I dug the lighting. I loved like the set design of the basement, and I like that it was in a creepy like English pub. Just I got so frustrated with that broad.
You set your movie in an old Irish pub. That's an immediate like it's you're I gave it 3 stars, and one of those stars was for that. So, but I think people should watch it. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I think go in, it's not going to be the best thing you've ever seen by far. And if you're aware of the talk to me, analogy, like it might irritate you a little bit, but they try to do their own thing with it, and I think they separate themselves a bit. But it's just clear that that was greenlit in the wake of Talk to Me's success. So, and I keep seeing the fucking trailer for Tarot, which I just,
Oh
God, I
God.
want that movie to go away. But that's another one where clearly the studios were like, oh, quick, what do we have, on deck that can,
Hmm.
look
We
so
did the
bad.
Ouija. Let's.
Well, that was pre-Talk to Me, but I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so Missy, you watched Baghead recently. What did you think about this film?
I really enjoyed it. And you were telling me that it was a first feature. I didn't realize that. I went into it just, it was a new Shudder movie that had a new and interesting sounding monster. So I love monster movies, so I wanted to check it out. It's got incredible ambience. Who doesn't love a story set in an Irish pub? The monster is something different, something unique to this. It has some parallels with Talk to Me, but I don't even want to say that it's like a Talk to Me ripoff because it's really not. I would think that that would have irritated me, and it didn't at all. It worked very well. It tells its own story. It I mean, strong performances, cool new monster. Like I enjoyed it. I think it's worth checking out, and I thought it was a good time.
Something you mentioned that also Justin Hamlin, who we had on the show a couple weeks ago, when he watched it in our text thread, he mentioned it, and I so you
The
guys
sound,
mentioned it. The sounds
the
the creature
monster
makes.
makes a
So
sound.
I don't remember that. So now I'm like, I totally missed that when I watched it, and now I'm like, I want to go back and watch it again simply for
Oh,
that
it's
because I'm
cool.
like both of you were so excited about it. Normally I pick up on stuff like that, and for whatever
Hmm.
reason I didn't. So.
And once I feel like once you hear it, you don't unhear it. It's like this guttural growling. I mean, it's not, but it kind of is. I don't
Mhm.
know. She makes like this weird fucking noise.
That's pretty cool. And like Tori said, I felt like they gave enough backstory, and then like you could tell the point where they were almost like, here's some backstory, but we're not going to give you too much. Like I
Right.
liked that kind of like give and take. So I I guess I think it's a definite like for on Shutter where we recommend these movies. I would tell people watch the movie.
Same. I really liked it. Like I know Tori said she had some trouble with it. I had no trouble with it. Like I got into it pretty quickly. Like it never felt draggy.
It doesn't drag.
Yeah. It's
It's a
snappy.
quick 85 minutes or whatever it is. It knows where it's going and it does not ever delay. Like it
Meander.
just boom.
Right.
Yeah. Which I appreciate.
Yeah, it's very snappy, but it's got and while it has parallels to Talk to Me, it's got its own spin on things.
Yeah. It's definitely got its own spin.
So I mean, I dug it. I think it's worth checking out. You know, I'd watch it again. I'm inclined to like monster movies, especially if you give me something different
Right.
that's not just a rehash of everything else. Like, I mean, at this point, like everything, nothing is truly original anymore. Everything
Right.
is reflective of everything else, but like it tells its own story, and I liked it. And I like the monster. I think the monster's cool. It makes a cool sound, and it does something relatively unique.
Well, so that's on Shudder, and that's Baghead. So check it out.
A pandemic of violence floods the streets of major cities as cases of the media-dubbed murder virus, MV20, soar, causing those infected to go on killing sprees. Caught in the middle, police detective Angela Miller finds her only trustworthy ally in the self-proclaimed psychic PI, Gerald Henry. As the two try to navigate the violence, they are drawn into New Age guru Abramelin Harvest's plot to heal the planet. Harvest's missive?
The world is sick, and humanity is the infection.
The cure? Murder. From the twisted mind of Sean C. Baker, author of A Collection of Desires and Shadowplay in Book 1, Kim and Jesse, comes his most vicious novel yet, Murder Virus. Available where books are sold.